Hey everyone, welcome back. We're going to look at Psalm 16 together using the Alive method. And this time we're looking at poetry. So this is a little bit different than what we've done before. And we're going to apply it a little bit differently to our life as well. So we're going to start though with our first question. What does it say? Since I'm reading this whole chapter today, I'm going to look for some big themes that might emerge in addition to smaller points of instruction or imagery located within the psalm. So as I read through it, I notice three themes. There's a theme of safety, of provision, and of confidence. And as I'm doing that, I'm also underlining the pronouns and subjects within the chapter, as well as a few questions I have. So under the themes, I begin to write some of the key phrases that go with each theme. So once I've organized the psalm, now I'm ready to go to question 2, which is when I look to the backstory. What's the backstory here? What did it mean in its time? So I look to my study notes for some additional understanding. And here I discover something. Not only is this a psalm of David about his experience of God's presence and provision when he was in danger, but my study notes also point out that there's 2 places that this psalm is quoted in the New Testament. And I'm curious now about that connection. Remember, curiosity is a huge part of this method. So I turn to those passages for a quick read. And as I'm doing that, I'm beginning to think to myself, why is God showing me this right now? Is it for encouragement? Is it insight? Is it correction? I turn to question 3 in the Alive method, which is, what does this mean? So within this psalm, the meaning is going to be pretty close to the surface. I'm going to be able to derive principles right from what I'm learning. And usually those principles are going to be around those themes, that theme of safety, of provision, of protection. And I'm going to look for what particularly is standing out to me today, especially when we're in poetry. We really want to engage our heart, the emotional aspect of what we're doing. So maybe I'm going to read it through a few times and actually look for what comes to the surface as far as images or phrases that I might use in my question 4. So I find my principles within the text, and then I turn to question 4. What does this mean for me? One thing that I love to do with the Psalms is when you do have a phrase that sticks out, you can make it personal. You can actually turn it to a prayer. So right here, the very first verse in Psalm 16, keep me safe, O God, for in you I take refuge. That's something I can just take with me today. There's a principle there that God is going to provide for me, but there's also application because I can actually make that my prayer this day, that anytime I'm facing trouble today, I can go back to God and say, He is my refuge. God, I take refuge with you. Keep me safe, for I take refuge with you. So it can become a place of sort of meditation and prayer and reflection, even as we go through our day. So whatever image sticks out to you, whatever phrase sticks out, is one that you can use. Another one I love is in verse 5. Lord, you alone are my inheritance, my cup of blessing. You guard all that is mine. I don't have to hold so tightly to everything in my life when I know that God is the one who's actually making those boundaries for me, who's guarding what is mine, who's keeping me in and within his goodwill. So when I go out in my day, what I'm bringing with me from this psalm is confidence and a sense that God's presence is with me. What will you take with you today? That's between you and God, and that's what's so amazing about his alive and active word. It is working in your heart, particularly for your life. I'll see you next time.